This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
There could be a real way to get Deontay Wilder and all the Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua haters, as in the Wilder fan channels, and the Wilder fans, not all of them of course, but a lot of them, who are just so anti Eddie Hearn and Dazn. But there's a way of getting Deontay Wilder and all the fans in the pocket of Eddie Hearn. And it's very simple. Dillian Whyte is on a bit of a promise to fight Anthony Joshua on April 13th at Wembley Stadium if Deontay Wilder doesn't do it himself. Okay? Now, Dillian said that he wants to fight before then though. Potentially November, December, whenever it may be, he wants to fight, and he doesn't want just a cherry fight just to tick over. He wants a legitimate challenge. Now, if you guys go back to a video that I uploaded earlier on, if you haven't watched it already, that Dominic Breazeale, he spoke to Fight Hype yesterday, and he said that he would be willing to put his mandatory position on the line and Dillian Whyte's WBC silver title on the line to sort out the whole mandatory situation once and for all. So he's willing to come to the UK and fight Dillian Whyte for the mandatory position. That's great. So if this fight was to happen and Dillian Whyte was to beat Dominic Breazeale, he would become the official mandatory. And as we know, the WBC have already committed to the fact that they are going to be ordering the WBC mandatory on Deontay Wilder from December. So therefore, any fight that Wilder has after December has to be against the mandatory. As of right now, it's Dominic Breazeale. But if Breazeale was to fight Whyte and Whyte was to beat him, it would have to be Whyte. Now, Wilder could potentially get out of it. But here's the thinking, okay? Now, he'd get out of it if he was to go for a unification fight, as in against Joshua. That means he's going to have to give in to whatever Joshua and that says and accept his 15 million. Oh, poor you, 15 million, right? But anyway, he's either going to have to do that or he's going to have to fight Dillian Whyte. But bear in mind that Eddie Hearn, he promotes not only Anthony Joshua, but he also promotes Dillian Whyte. Now, what would Eddie Hearn do if he had the opportunity to either have Joshua versus Wilder for Undisputed or Wilder versus Dillian Whyte for the WBC title? And then the winner of that fight goes and fights Joshua for Undisputed. Now, April 13th is already penciled in. Joshua's going to be fighting on there. So that just means that, for me, I believe that Eddie Hearn will, in fact, choose another opponent for Anthony Joshua. Obviously, with Anthony Joshua's say-so, obviously, he chooses the opponent himself. Now, what would happen is, if given the opportunity, Eddie Hearn would choose Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder, in the hope that Dillian beats Wilder, and then we have Undisputed for Joshua versus Whyte later in 2019. And Deontay Wilder has no way of getting out of it. He has no choice. He's been doing everything that he can to avoid Dillian Whyte. But if Dillian Whyte can make the Dominic Breazeale fight and beat him, Wilder has no choice but to fight Dillian Whyte next. Now, what would happen there is they could come to terms, maybe go fight in America or wherever. They could do that. But Eddie Hearn isn't going to do that, is he? No. Eddie Hearn is going to make it go to purse bid. And he's going to win that purse bid. And when he wins that purse bid, Deontay Wilder is either going to have to fight Dillian Whyte on Dazn, which is what Eddie Hearn is going to choose, because he will have exclusive rights to the show and to the fight. And of course, it will be on Sky Sports in the UK as well. Or Deontay Wilder is going to have to vacate his title. Either way, Eddie Hearn, if he can make the Dillian Whyte versus Dominic Breazeale fight before December and Dillian Whyte beats him, then Deontay Wilder will have no choice but to get in the pocket of Eddie Hearn. It's going to have to be on Dazn. There's no way Showtime are going to outbid Eddie Hearn for purse bids. No way in hell. They would lose and lose royally. Deontay Wilder will have no choice but to fight on Dazn against Dillian Whyte for the price that he sets. Did I make sense? Hopefully. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, subscribe. Come on, Breazeale, make the fight.